Believe it or not, all of this water is popping up out of the ground through hundreds of feet of pipe coming from this residential property backyard. But let's start from the very beginning and show how we installed the French drain system.
Yeah. So this area here, have to find a way to get it to lower ground using a French drain.
Pond out here.
Right. Ooh.
Yep.
Okay, so we created a path and we are putting a line level on the ground for the different segments. And we want to make sure we have a couple inches of fall. On a French drain system, you have to dig down a certain amount. Sometimes it's best to use a sod cutter. In this case it is, so you saw all those pieces of sod being cut with the sod cutter. Other times you'll simply dig, and here we're getting all of the aggregate is what it's called. In this case we're using 57 limestone, so we're getting all of that. We're getting a trencher. But like I said earlier, sometimes we need to remove the sod first, then dig down, and then other times we dig down completely and then we'll put brand new sod back on. Right now you're seeing the burrito wrap is what it's called. So that's a 4-inch corrugated pipe. We dug down a certain depth, oftentimes it's about 12 inches, and then we put in a geotextile fabric. This is a geotextile fabric. It's different than your regular landscaping fabric you use in flower beds, but you can see it there kind of wrapped in the kind of a burrito.
Sure slope is good. So obviously you want a couple inches of fall every 10 feet or so. And so that's what we're making sure we're doing here as we go through the back to create this French drain system. And then as much as possible, we like to use catch basins here. That way you can clean the debris off and make sure that this stays clean and stuff doesn't get clogged with coming through your gutters, and then it backs up your entire French drain system. So if you're having somebody do this, make sure they're thinking about that. There is a way to bury them, but ideally put a catch basin in so that you can clear the debris from time to time and it doesn't get clogged in your system.
Now the catch basin is capturing surface level water. The French drain is capturing subsurface level water. So as the water goes through the sod, it can enter into the geotextile fabric quickly and then into the aggregate and eventually the 4-inch perforated pipe.
And we're going to see what's going on inside of here. And you can see that there's a little bit of debris from install.
One of the great things about installing them is they have a little belly down in there that debris, say from the roof or the gutters, it will go into that belly. You want that also to drain, so you saw that we had a drill there, and we'll drill down in to the bottom of it, and there's rock below it, just so that it'll drain. Right now we're going to clean this out before we put the grate back on. This is how it looks like inside. You have the ability to raise or lower the outlet, and then you block off the inlet on that side because it doesn't need to be, but that outlet can be raised or lowered depending upon the pitch that you're trying to get. We're here doing some more trenching and continuing on our process. So like I said, if you don't remove the sod with a sod cutter, you would simply take that debris off site, and then once you're done with your burrito wrap, you just get a new sod put back in place. So here we are putting the 57 limestone on top.
This is a mixture of sand and some very loose clay.
One thing we did was get a permeable mix of sand and soil. You'll see right here, it's a mixture of dirt, organic material, and sand. We'll put that on top of the burrito, and the reason why is so that the water goes down into the system better. If you just put a bunch of clay on there, we're here in West Tennessee, you just put a bunch of clay underneath there and then put your sod on top of that, it's going to be harder for the water that are in these low spots to go into the drainage system, into the French drain system. Now remember, that black fabric that we're now completing the burrito on, you can see, in many spots, that fabric drains water super fast. It's a great soil separator, but it drains super fast. At the end of this video, I'll put a link out there to where you can see the differences between the different types of fabric. Now, the geotextile fabric, it'll cost oftentimes $130, $140 a roll for about 200 feet by 4 feet in width. And so pay the extra price. If you're putting in a French drain system, absolutely pay the extra price. Now you can see we have we have 3 catch basins in the back here. We've already started to put the sod back on. And this is in early March, so this grass will green up. We did check in with the homeowner many months after this install, and he said it has been working great, and we've had several heavy rains since then. This is the very end. This is where we are installing the pop-up emitter, and we're going to have to do something just a little bit interesting with the pop-up emitter, but it'll make sense. We're tying more of those downspouts in to catch basins. We're kind of doing a final walkthrough here with the homeowner. Everything's gone well. And we put the pop-up emitter, you'll see here in a minute, we put the pop-up emitter in kind of a gravel little flower bed area. We did that because there were a lot of utilities there and we couldn't cross over those utilities, so we had to make a spot where the water could flow onto rock and it can just be maintained. Ended up working out great. Came back later and saw what it looked like in action and tested, and that way it doesn't destroy the lawn around it. Oftentimes with pop-up emitters, if you install them in the middle of the yard, they'll get damaged, grass will go around it. But as you can see, a week later, water is flowing out of here from the backyard, keeping the backyard dry, and the rest of the yard as well. So mission accomplished. This is Sean with Troxel Services. Please subscribe if you want this type of content in the future. Thanks for watching.
Seeping out over here.